We are all one. Even if you're only partway through your spiritual awakening journey, you instinctively know this to be true. But what are the mechanics behind this statement? How are we all one? How does it work? And who is the one? Hi everybody, my name is Sophia Persephone and my mission is to give you power through knowledge so you can control your own journey. This is part 2 of a 2-part video series. In part 1, I reveal who the source is, the creator and container of our universe. In other words, the one that we are all part of. So you might want to watch that video first. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to assume you're now familiar with the concept of source as an enormous consciousness which makes up the entirety of our universe, and as an entity which is self-aware and which identifies herself as Athena. Is your mind blown yet? No? Good, because there's more to come. I'm going to illustrate for you using my trusty iPad Procreate how we all ultimately derive from and are contained within Source. Okay, so here is Source, Athena, mind, the universe, everything. This universal consciousness is made up of atoms, and atoms are essentially discrete packets of data. Every atom is unique and therefore has a specific purpose. Everything is designed, everything has intention, everything is trackable and measurable at every scale of existence. And this is true throughout our entire universe of 13 dimensions, as above, so below. So within the universal consciousness, or Athena, are distinct areas. For example, the 13 dimensions of our universe and our universal database, the Akashic records, have their own space. But a large part of the universal consciousness is given over to identity. So let's zoom into that a bit more, because this is the source of the concept that we're all one. When Athena decided to create our universe, she was given a team to help her. But as she's the sum total of everything in our universe, that team had to derive from her. So her consciousness split into 10 discrete parts, each of which assumed its own self-awareness and identity, and embodied 10% of Athena's own qualities. Now that's bearing in mind that Athena contains every single attribute we see in our universe, because she is quite literally everything. So that also means that when you take them as a whole, collectively, these 10 individual minds also represent the sum of every characteristic, trait and skill available in our universe. And these 10 minds are the 10 members of the inner circle of the Council of Light, or if you like, the 10 major energies in our universe. And I'm going to link you to a video where you can learn more about the Council of Light. Now, to be able to create our universe and ultimately play the game, Athena needed a lot more characters made up of individual minds, or as we call them, souls, with their own identities. So this process of division continued exactly as we see in cells in this 3D reality. The consciousness of each of the 10 members of the Council of Light split into 6. A mind always splits into 6 as it descends through the generations. But the same principle applied. The sum total of their attributes was contained in the next generation down, and so on and so on. In fact, this process is still ongoing. New souls are still being created in this way. And it also means that we're all descended from one of the original 10 members of the council, and therefore at our core we display at least some of that council member's attributes. So how does this relate to we are all one? Basically, if you took every soul in the universe and mashed them all together, the sum total would be Athena. Every attribute would again be represented, and in other words, we are all aspects of Athena. So when we're in the upper dimensions, we're able to experience ourselves either as our little percentage of Athena, an individual, or as a collective. We can extend our consciousness as far out as our level of learning allows us to, and I'm going to explain a bit more about that in just a moment. Meanwhile, if you're finding this video useful, please hit the like button so it can reach more people who also need the information. Thank you. So if you think about your little pod of 6 souls, for example, descending from one oversoul, they are able to experience themselves as one entity. Okay, let me make this concrete for you. My consciousness, or soul, Persephone, descends from Sophia, my oversoul, but so do 5 other souls. And I happen to know that this family includes the souls Ariadne, Leonardo, Luna and Gaia. I still have to identify the 6th. Actually, part of my mission is to map the soul family tree. So if you know your soul and higher self's name, please get in touch or leave a comment below, because that would really help me. Anyway, so these other 5 souls descending from Sophia represent my closest soul family, Persephone's closest soul family. They're my siblings. And then, of course, they have their descendants too. Those are my soul nieces and nephews. And of course, I also have my sons and daughters. And then there's their descendants, my grandchildren or my great nieces and nephews, and so on for all eternity, just like here on Earth. And this basic family structure is the same for everyone. Where it gets interesting is that the 6 souls on the one line of the soul family tree are entangled and can experience themselves together as one whole. They can basically shift from an individual modality to a group modality. In my family's case, if we're in group modality, we experience ourselves as Sophia, because in total, we are the sum of her parts. And because all of the souls in this branch of the family tree have completed their soul lessons, they can also expand their consciousness to encompass much larger groups of souls. In fact, they can encompass every soul in the universe. And that's no matter which dimension those souls are in. You can actually do this from Earth. I've done it. You can zoom into the collective consciousness. And doing this is the same as experiencing oneself as Athena. How far out a soul can extend its consciousness depends on its level of learning, and effectively we unlock new levels of experience and reach as we progress. It actually feels very strange for a soul to be contained in a walled mind, as we traditionally have been when we're in a human body, although of course that's starting to change and a lot of those walls are now coming down. But that's why souls traditionally don't come to this dimension unless they're at least 40% through their soul lessons. It's just too closed off and difficult for them to navigate. Okay, now I'm going to explain how the soul family structure underpins a soul's evolution and learning cycles. So the ultimate aim for every single mind, no matter where they are in this huge unfolding cascade of souls, is to regain every aspect of Athena. And this is what is meant by coming back to God, as the major religions in this dimension call it. At the end of all of your learning cycles, you'll be identical to Athena. If your fragment of soul at birth contains 3% of Athena's experiences and attributes, then your overarching soul journey is to reclaim the other 97%. You're going to be naturally more adept in areas which are represented by the member of the Council of Light that you descend from, and you're going to find the things which are opposite to your council member more difficult. For example, a Freya, who is individualistic, creative, artistic, will typically find it harder to learn their Shakti lessons, which are about rules, dogma, and structure. The best way to think about the attributes of the 10 members of the Council of Light is as learning modules. Let's say each represents 10% of everything a soul needs to learn. You're aiming to ultimately complete every single one of these learning modules. And the way you do that is by incarnating in different kinds of lives as different characters. I'm going to release a video soon specifically about reincarnation, so if you're interested in that topic, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. So, each life helps you learn. In some lives you might go backwards, in others you might go forwards. There's no judgment attached to this. Everything is considered a learning experience. At this moment in our universe's history, if you complete 98% of your total lessons, you're considered a bodhisattva soul. And that means you no longer need to incarnate to learn, but you might choose to incarnate to help with specific missions. For example, I know that there's certain members of the Council of Light who are incarnated on Earth in this dimension right now. If you're going through your spiritual awakening at the moment, then you're almost certainly at least 70% through your soul lessons, because the higher evolved are waking up first. And you can watch this video to find out more about that. The next video in this series explaining how our universe really works will be about the 13 dimensions and what each one is used for, so please subscribe to be notified when that one drops.